Dominique, and I'm going to talk to you about lemongrass. Quite a random oil that you may not realize how much you need it in your life. I certainly didn't when in 2019, randomly in May, I woke up at about 4 a.m. in the morning with the most terrible stomachache. It was a weird stomachache in that it didn't really feel like it was in my tummy, but it was coming all the way up and it was on one side. So I went to see my homeopath because it was that bad. I usually just grab some oils and get on with my day, but it was something that was keeping me doubled over. She sent me to Rosebank Clinic because she was concerned that it could be appendix. So they tested my blood for inflammation, because that's apparently how appendicitis shows up. And everything came back negative, so they did a few more tests and came back with the diagnosis that I had H. pylori bacterial ulcer. I said, okay, what now? And they said the only way to deal with this H. pylori stomach ulcer was to go on a triple course antibiotics. Now, while I'm not against antibiotics when they are necessary, a triple course of antibiotics I knew would completely obliterate any of my good bacteria that I kind of liked having in my body. So I said, thank you for the script, went home and started researching the best oil protocols I could try first. What's the worst that could happen? I could go later on or the next day and get the antibiotics. So in all my research, I came across a video by Dr. Hill, who is actually one of the founders of dōTERRA, where he was speaking at a seminar on stomach ulcers, and he suggested the protocol of 2 drops oregano, 2 drops lemongrass in a capsule twice daily for 5 days. He said after the first 3 days you should be symptom free, but because H. pylori is an intense bacterial in the gut, rather go to 5 days. So that is what I decided to try, and luckily I had lemongrass at the time, and so I took the capsules. So this was Friday. I took 1 capsule Friday afternoon and I felt much better. I'll be honest, 4 a.m. the next morning it was painful again, and that usually happens because at 4 a.m. you're completely your stomach is empty, and so the acids are more, you feel them more. So the next morning I took another capsule, and by Saturday afternoon another capsule, and Sunday morning I woke up symptom free. So I continued morning and evening for the next 5 days and never had a reoccurrence. And Rosebank Clinic actually called me to say it should be time for your next prescription for the next lot of antibiotics. This was about 10 days later, to which I said not necessary. So lemongrass for bacterial in the gut combined with oregano was a lifesaver to me. I was warned that eating acidic foods like tomatoes and brinjals and stuff could create a reoccurrence of this ulcer, and it's 2020 in September, and I've never had another reoccurrence, and it was bad. It was really bad. So I love lemongrass for that. It will always hold a place in my heart that I didn't have to go on 3 courses of antibiotics. I combined it with oregano, and some people may say, you know, you've got to be careful when taking oregano and lemongrass on an ongoing basis because of it messing with your own stomach biome, your bacteria in your gut. And I agree. So make sure that you just take it for a short period of time if there's something that you're dealing with, and then give your body a rest so that you can bring balance. With all things in life, balance is key. Now, another area where lemongrass has shown up for me is my husband had a major operation where he had the muscles in his arms cut and then stretched. And combining lemongrass with copaiba and deep blue, you can also add Siberian fir. Those oils are amazing for healing the body, connective tissue and the tendons, because anytime you're dealing with broken bones, sprains, and this kind of operation, even though you're dealing with a broken bone, and the oils can be very supportive in healing that kind of thing, there are always ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and other parts of the body that, including lemongrass in that blend, will be very supportive for. So think sprained ankles, think any injuries your children might get when they're running around, hurting themselves, falling out of trees, sprains, hairline fractures, anything like that, add lemongrass. You want to combine that with your copaiba, your deep blues. These are all the oils for the body that help with inflammation and support as the body repairs, and lemongrass is a great one to include in that. So I hope that helps. I hope that was a fun way to learn about ways you might not have thought of using lemongrass.